Everybody, welcome to Mentoring Monday. I am Tammy Guest. I am a practitioner of 18 years and a mentor, naturopathic Futures Academy founder, and the founder of the Naturepreneur Movement and the Hub and Liftoff. I love what I do, and I happen to be in a really interesting spot where I can access new information, trainings, and tools that might be helpful to you. And I also mentor 3 different groups at the moment. And there are themes that come up that I wanted to share with you so that you guys get a little insight into things that might be helpful for you. This week, one of the biggest questions that we got asked in the Accelerator Mastermind that I run for mid-career practitioners who want to move into leadership positions was they gave me 5 names of practitioners who they look up to and what actually made the shift for them. What do I think made the shift for them to stepping up and being practitioners for practitioners and stepping up into a leadership role, education role, becoming a speaker and things like that. So I thought this might be helpful to you guys as well. Back in 2014, I ran my first Tele Summit. And the reason I ran my first Tele Summit was because I wanted to pick the brains of the people I was #natstruck by. And natstruck is a new term that I coined around being awestruck in the natural health professions. And so I was natstruck by these top 10 people who I wanted to talk to, but I didn't really have a reason to talk to them because I was just a little practitioner running my little clinic in Newcastle. But I really wanted to pick their brains about what was working for them, what made them not go into burnout, because I was very much in burnout at the time, and whilst maintaining a practice that was actually financially rewarding that they could stay in practice with. And so all the way back in 2014, I was asking these similar questions. So it was nice to hear my masterminders asking the same things. So they gave me 5 names of people they were nat-struck by. And it just so happens I have coached 4 of those people on that list as a business mentor for practitioners. And so I happen to know the behind the scenes of what's happened for those people in their businesses and in their lives, and what makes them unique and what makes them step up and step out. I want to give you the top 5 things that stand out for practitioners who are making that move into the leadership roles that they have and appearing on stages for other practitioners. Number 1, I happen to coach a lot of them. And it's not about me per se, but it is about finding a mentor or being coachable. And I see this all the time with practitioners who step into these roles. They're people who have had either official mentors that they've paid for or mentors that have stepped in and built a relationship with, and they've just shared their wisdom and knowledge and given them little hints and tips to keep them on the right track and avoid those little potholes that were coming up in their career. And I really feel like we as a profession think we can do it all ourselves. And yes, I'm sure we can, but it's not going to fast track where you want to be if you're doing it alone. It's also not as much fun. So the first part of it, of the things that stand out, is finding somebody that you can be mentored by or building a relationship with somebody who has been in the position that you want to be in. It's a really valuable thing to have people in our own profession that you look up to and that can help you along the way. Number 2, biggest shift was that they leveraged their networks. And again, it's this part of thinking that we can be alone, but in actual fact, our colleagues, the people that we've gone through student clinic with, the people who we're inspired by, or our lecturers, and anyone at a conference, go up and talk to them, build a relationship, build rapport. If in person isn't your jam, I highly suggest you lean into it. But there's also networks on LinkedIn, there's networks on social media. There's so many ways of actually building relationships that allow us to understand that there's a wider ecosystem at play, and we're able to then build relationships with organizations that we might want to help out with. We might be volunteering as part of our associations, special interest groups and other things. Saying yes to things that bring more of a network around us is one of the things that I've noticed has been a game changer for those people that we're nat-struck by. Number 3 is creating a business foundation and a platform to direct all your traffic to, and that your business makes business for you. I see the biggest shifts when practitioners move from, oh, I've got like little bits and pieces band-aided around and I'm not quite sure where all my information is for me to help people with, versus My business has a home, it has a website, it has a functional website that takes people's emails. I can send them out information that's relevant to them. It all happens automatically. I have trainings in an education arm as well as a clinical arm, and that works seamlessly. That is a massive game changer for a lot of practitioners who are stepping up into this space. And to be able to do that, it usually has one cohesive home. And to do that, you've got to, set these systems up in the background and set up the foundations really strongly so that it's not a sieve that things are falling out, that people know exactly where to find that information when they need it or after you've appeared up on stage somewhere. Number 4 is that they are action takers. That quality of actually taking imperfect action, no matter whether you know what the result is going to be or not, but taking imperfect action rather than sitting in procrastination and perfectionism and slowing the whole process. These people who are stepping up in leadership positions in our profession are people who are taking imperfect action, but are doing it intentionally, heading towards a goal that they want and growing from that imperfect action, rather than sitting around and mulling over what's the best idea and how should we do it and which platform should we use and all that kind of stuff. They just take imperfect action. That momentum and that traction is probably the biggest shift from a mindset perspective that you could take. The second biggest mind shift is number 5, which is staying in your own lane. This is a massive one for people who are doing really well in our profession. They are not here keyboard warrioring, getting on to, you're not going to see them putting messages in groups and other stuff. They are staying in their own lane. They are staying on task. They are not in comparisonitis and scrolling. They are just busy doing the work that they know is most impactful to help more people. So hopefully those top 5 tips might be helpful to you too, either now or in the future. Now, news, research, tools and trainings. News here and abroad is that registration is the topic back on the table. It has come in and out over the past 25 years that I've known about it, but certainly longer than that. And the US in particular has had some of theirs taken away in different states, and they're showing up in different ways, sharing and trying to get across structure, enabling them to legitimize what they're doing. And similarly here in Australia, we are having a similar kind of experience. In these conversations online, I am inviting you very much to stay above the line. So below the line is where we're being derogatory and not helpful and not backing our profession. Stay above the line and keep professional in these conversations is my invitation to you at the moment, no matter where you stand on the topic itself. I think there's a level of respect and professionalism that we can portray, and it's a really great time to be able to have a listen to what's happening, read the documents that you might like to read, speak to the organizations that are doing things that are associated with this and speaking to, so that's your associations, and really get a little bit more of an insight into it in your way. It's come off the back of a 5-year research project, and research in and of itself is a massive undertaking. So please be respectful of the conversations that you're having around this at the moment. 2 pieces of actual research, and they are to do with AI. The research that just came out in the Discover Applied Sciences publication on herbal medicine meets machine learning. Now, this is a retrospective study on curcuminoids, boswellia, and resveratrol. And it's using AI learning and a data set to actually find out why and how to optimize those 3 compounds and how they're working on an individual level, how they're working on a standardized level, and finding new and novel ways of actual delivery that humans haven't been able to do. So new ways of thinking about new avenues of research for that, because AI itself is trained on a data set that can be applicable to chronic inflammatory condition management. So new, interesting ways that we are crossing those barriers between tech and complementary medicine. Second part of research, we actually have a colleague here in Australia who's doing research on AI in naturopathy and the technology adoption and opinions on that, as well as what people are actually using it for. It's an anonymous survey. It is going towards a master's project, and I very much invite you to be part of that survey. I'm a really big believer that research and bodies of work to do with our naturopathic workforce and our profession. Needs all of the voices, whether you are busy staying in your own lane or you are spending a lot of time online. You have a voice in our profession, and it's a really valuable time to be able to put that voice forward. Upcoming trainings. Yay. I love some ongoing education. If you haven't checked out our little black book, please do. All of the up-to-date information on trainings provided there, private or public. So we've got upcoming trainings for the end of this month. We've got Simple Clinic with Marketing Made Easy. We've got Activated Probiotics starting their Around Australia tour for Perimenopause Masterclass. They're going to Victoria first. And then we've got RN Labs with the Gut Health Management from an integrative GP perspective online. Lastly, who doesn't love a conference? We've got May's conference is the Herbal Medicine Summit from the NHAA. It's up in Queensland. June has 2 conferences. One is Biomedica Metabolic Health Summit online. It's in Sydney as well, but it's available online if you happen to be in the UK or the US or overseas. And if you are in Sydney again for June, we've got the inaugural Pediatrics in Practice Summit, which has some really cool topics. If you are somebody who helps families or children, check it out, Pediatrics in Practice. And then the last one in July coming up, the ACNM 2-day conference on hormonal health. Amazing lineup of speakers for that one. All right, last 2 tools for you because I like a little bonus. There's 2 free tools that I came across this week and I'm absolutely loving. Number 1, they're both free, by the way, beyondnormal.io. Love it. Beyond Normal is how we are applying the standard general pathology, so bloods, and how the reference ranges that are functional for us, and what we might need to think about as a second opinion on the herbs and nutrients that a client might be taking and how they might be impacting their bloods and other things that we might consider when their bloods come back outside the normal or our version of normal. So really cool. Sign up to it. It's free. It's made by an Australian practitioner. Highly suggest you check it out. It's also got monographs and other things on there for herbs and nutrients as well. The other one is compligard.com.au. Now, it's a compliance tool to help you navigate because the whole AI tool on the back end has been trained on the TGA, the Food Standards Australia, New Zealand, the ACCC, which is the Consumer Commission, and Advertising and Consumer Commission, and the APRA guidelines on advertising. Now, although we aren't all covered by all of these things all at once, it's still a tool to give you a second opinion and have a little second check, sense check as to what your advertising and your marketing is actually doing and where it could be in the grey zone or literally in the black zone. I'm a big believer in anything that is going to raise the bar for our profession to be professional. And I'm really keen on some of these tech tools that are coming out that are really helpful in the second opinion world, whether it's business or clinic. And I think that if you get the opportunity to check it out and see how useful it could be for you too. All right, I'm off to get ready for the Naturopathic Futures Academy, starting the Forgotten Healing Arts subject. And I hope you're up for a massive week of awesomeness and impact in the natural health world. If you have anything coming up, pop it in the comments section below. And I look forward to catching up with you next Monday for Mentoring Monday. Bye.